back. Apologies for the technical issues we got. We are still discussing very important things, so we have decided we continue this podcast so that we can be able even to conclude, because we still had a lot to share, isn't it so, Andrew?
Yep, we still had.
Yeah. So, Andrew, you are still talking about this man who wants to show status. For them, they are rich. That's the reason why they do what? They organize big weddings and all that. So I wanted you to conclude on that. Then we can move on to some other reasons as to why we have big weddings.
Yes. Yes, thank you, James. I remember we left off at a point where I was asking myself, who are you competing with? For you to show off, who are you competing with? There is something that someone can organize when you can see they're not, it's within them, their capacity to do that. Then you see someone who is doing what he is not, or he's trying to fit where he's not. And in that way, they will struggle. So, for those who try to fit where they're not, who end up struggling, I would want to ask them the question, why? Why struggle to fit in a gap or in a space you're not meant to be in? Yeah. Do something within your ability. Fit within where you're supposed to fit. You know, it's good to have self-understanding. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is what I can manage. Let me be within that. In that way, you're going to have peace of mind. You're going to have a wonderful function without any worries. No debts, nothing. And above all, you will not be a bother to people. Yes. So, I really, the issue of showing off, I don't know whether it's still done on a big scale, but I think it's a few cases really left. Because people are enlightened nowadays, so I don't think. But perhaps you never know. But for those that have that, I wouldn't think that's a good way to go. Do something within your means. You're not competing with anyone. There is no need to show off, because nobody is bothered. Nobody really cares. Yeah.
Yeah, and I suggest we always try to understand and listen to advice that is given, because at the end of the day, it is only one day that you're using to show status.
Absolutely.
And after that, your status is not going to, to be depicted anywhere.
Yep.
Actually, we respect your status when you are consistently showing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, from day one. Yeah, so that is really beautiful and wonderful. Kakati, tulina abantu etade tuwa bu cheers naye nga tebuvayo bulungi. In just a few seconds, tukatuwawemu ku bu cheers. Abasooka, those who organize weddings to show that they are showing status. Eyokubiri, those who compete and they do copy and paste, because someone had
200 guests. He wants to do double them. 400 and 500.
Namu obugalo bwa obugalo obusembayo, the special shout out to decorators, those who charge us too much money. Instead of if the decoration is worth 2 million, you ask for 10 million. But please, you should stop those habits. Let's be human. Let's ubuntu. Ubuntu bulambusigaleo okitegeera. Naddala those who are born again.
Yeah.
I think you need to show. You need to show the Christ-like love to people, you know.
Yeah.
If your colleague is in such a situation and they need to make ends meet, they are struggling with raising money and all that. Hey, tomu fera. I know you also want to make more money, but make little money.
Something reasonable.
Something reasonable.
Yes.
Yeah. Nebe ebintu by'okwongeza bannammwe biki ne mubalimba ne mbafera si bintu birungi. So Andrew, there is this issue of you know in our African setting we are poor.
Yeah.
In our African setting. Okay, not all of us, but people are poor. I think when you look at poverty line, the majority are the poorest. It's just a few that have money. So what do you think What part does this play in people organizing big weddings and expensive weddings?
They're not having money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People, you're saying a big percentage of Africans are in, say, below the poverty line.
Yep.
There are those that are living within less than $1 per day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we have such statistics
Mm.
and such information,
Mm.
why then do we want to do something lavish
Mm.
if our earnings are low? You know,
Mm.
there are easier ways
Mm.
of having a simple wedding.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or there are ways you can have
Mm.
a simple function.
Mm.
Get married in a simple way.
Mm.
Why do you want to go and do something big which is not in your means?
Mm.
Because your earnings are small.
Mm.
Yet within your small earnings, you can actually get married without any struggle.
Mm.
So I'm thinking it's a lack of knowledge, or number one. Number two, people who are not advisable. With those advisable, you'll miss that. Because those who will have the knowledge will, in the attempt to give you this, you will brush them off because you are the alpha person. You say, I don't want. Me, this is what I want. So you'll brush it aside. Yet there are those who will say, no, why do you want to do this? You can't afford this. You don't have that money. Why don't you do something simple? So it comes down to pride. How humble or proud is a person? Yeah. So pride and humility come into play. So you find a person who is humble, who takes in advice, who listens to what is being told, he gets there and doesn't struggle really.
Yeah, there is this also pressure that comes from family.
Yeah.
Nti omwana wa gundi, you cannot organize a wedding, not aita abantu ba kuchalo.
Yeah.
And remember, you have to feed all these people. So how should we advise such a person? Because by pressure, you're forced to feed over 200 or 300 and something guests.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't, and now you will find there are families, like one family wants to bring over 100 people, and those 100 people also have families.
Yeah.
So they will come with children, their husbands, their spouses, like friends, and then you find yourself in a mix.
Yeah.
Bannange tugenda kusekeramu kwabo abantu abeyita ku mikolo gy'abannammwe nga tebabayisa. Katubabana ku bugalo kuba mususenyu mulekeraawo okweyita.
To carry children, to carry what?
Yes, I mean the invite is saying one person
or two at most.
Yeah, actually, if you're married and someone invites you alone, you rather not go than going with your husband
or your wife, whoever has been invited.
Whoever has been invited. Because there is a reason as to why I
has
have only
invited
invited
one person.
One person.
Yeah.
So, like when I to respecting emikolo gy'abannaffe, and you know, the trend now has changed. People are no longer organizing weddings on weekends. They put them on weekdays.
To cut out some people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of you people on weekends, you have nothing to do.
So guys are getting wiser.
Yes.
They're saying, no, we're not going to do this.
I have seen a wedding where they have served all the plates that were paid for. And then the hotel is saying, look, we can serve more people. Yeah. But you have to give us.
You have to
money.
add money on top of it.
Then you will see one of the committee members moving pola towards the Mugole.
And whispering something.
The first person that needs to be rebuked is that committee member who is going to the Mugole. Why are you stressing the Mugole? But
now, James, the issue is people are in attendance.
Yes, people are in attendance.
Number one. Number two. The financial officer of a wedding is the Mugole himself.
But now, you see, Andrew.
You see?
Bafa.
Now, that decision, excuse me, that decision still has to be made by the Mugole because they are his visitors, you know? So, the last word is his. Because he is the one who will have to tackle the after effects of that. Because they may be his relatives or the relatives of his wife, they may be his friends or the friends of the wife. So somehow a decision must be reached at by the Mugole who is the chief executive
but
of the
Andrew,
wedding.
but Andrew,
Because whether it's a date or anything, it still comes down to
I
his
want
head.
to ask you
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
What is the role of the committee?
Role of the committee is to put together this function.
Huh.
Yes.
Then I am very sure that by the time the ceremony has taken place, the committee knows the financial situation.
Yes.
Why would someone move towards the pulpit or the gazebo, whatever they call it, to stress the Mugole? Because at the end of the day, as the committee, I believe you're supposed to safeguard the event. If the food is done, you know where the Mugole is seated, he doesn't have money in his pockets. Yeah? Automatically, it's going to be a date. Omugole waba ina sente mu bank, agenda kuzeola.
Yes, yes.
I know kusoka ne yeola.
Yeah.
So that is a date after the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah? So why would you, as an understanding committee member, why would you move straight to the Mugole? No mugamba abantu tukyetagayo plates endala ana.
Okay. This is what I want to get your understanding. In your opinion, the chairperson of the organizing committee, he should finish everything.
Yes.
You see, whereas that is true, but let me tell you, you have never seen a Mugole lashing out at a chairman or a chairperson because they made a decision without alerting them. Because why? Where does that come from? At the end of the function, his beloved uncle walks to him at the time of greeting the Mugole and said, can you imagine, on your function I have not eaten food? Then this Mugole says, what do you mean you have not eaten food? Another person comes and says, you know what? We have also missed food. Then this man says, I didn't know that people who had missed food. Why did they add more food? Something like that. So most chairmen want to avoid that. They rather alert you and say, this is the state at which we are standing. However, where I agree with you is alert the Mugole and tell them, let the Mugole permit you to make the final decision.
Okay.
I don't agree.
I think that one works.
Yeah.
But for me, you see, I solved that early enough. I told the committee members in the last meeting, I told them, look, what we have afforded now, that is it. Yeah. Whatever we haven't afforded,
it's not there.
We leave it. And I told them, if you borrow, if you create a date for the wedding,
that's not mine.
It is not mine, it is yours.
Yes.
I was telling them, look, this is it. This is it.
Now, so not so many groomsmen do that. Yeah. Not so many do that.
Yeah.
So that's why the chairman always go to them and say, this is the position. What do we do? Do we get or shouldn't we get? Normally they drop it as a question. Do we get or we don't get? Because the need is okay for it. Because there's a cost attached to it.
A special shout out to a special Luzungu English is not my motherland. A special shout out to all the women there who have dream weddings in Maldives, Seychelles,
Bahamas,
Nayenga Bao, Asalanviri.
One haircut, 50,000.
Oh no! Techisoboka
ngosevize emyaka etaano.
Muganda wange, obanga if your business is if you are a barber in Ugandan setting, and you want to organize your wedding in Maldives, please do it after buying land, constructing a house, and setting up your own salon.
Not working for another person.
Not working
for
another person.
Having yours.
Okay. A special shout out to all the ladies. For you refused to get married to this dream guy of yours because you could not afford a wedding to Maldives. Facts are bitter, but we have to say these things. But now, there is also this issue of actually we've talked about it. One of the main causes of an expensive wedding. You can choose to do a cheap wedding, and you end up, and the wedding ends up being expensive.
Okay.
Inviting very many people. You talked about 100 people as a small wedding. 100 and below. 100 and below. 100 and above, that is a big wedding. You talked about 100 people as a small wedding.
Yeah.
Actually, my personal view, and I actually always advise my friends. We've had a wedding where I have also been part of it. The two bagole they were two bagole, me and a lady. Me, I'm the friend to the musajja, and then the lady also came with a what? With a friend, a female friend. Ne tugenda wali, we sat in a room, ne babagatta bagayi, ne tusigning letters, certificates, and then we left.
A civil wedding.
A civil wedding.
Yes.
And then we ate our food and the wedding
was done.
Was done.
Yes.
And later when this couple got money, they organized the celebration.
Yes.
So I'm thinking that actually for me a small wedding should be 50 people.
Yeah.
That is, to me, it should be the big wedding, because 50 people, those are many. A simple wedding should have only close relatives. Yeah? Close relatives.
Yeah, true.
Close relatives. Because let me tell you, the many people you invite, awe bagenda okugeya. Omugole yambadde gown ng'ate wano oba omwana yagitunga. You know those things. By the way, special shout outs to people who attend people's weddings. You eat their food, you take
but
their
gossip
things,
about them.
but you gossip about them for the rest of your life. Temuli bangu. Okitegeera papa. So I think because now we need to advise these people, how can one plan a simple wedding?
First of all, James, we should stress the point that we are not against lavish weddings.
Yeah.
If one can afford them.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a day of celebration.
But first describe affordability. Okay. To understand.
Affordability to me is when a person is able to put a wedding together without strain. Yeah. I want 30 million for a wedding. I have 25 million. And I ask my members to collect for me 5 million shillings. You understand? You want a wedding of 50 million, you have 40 million. You ask friends to collect for you 10 million. Those are not bad weddings to have. And someone does what they want.
Yeah.
It's not bad to have a good wedding. Weddings are days for celebration. It's a good time. Now we are addressing those who know they don't have, yet want something lavish. That's where the challenge is. Today, that's the cause of people not getting married or not wedding.
Yeah.
Because they are scared of that cost. Yes. For someone will date a lady for 5 years. In his mind, he's thinking, okay, where do I start from? Introduction alone is looking at 20 million shillings plus. Wedding is looking at 40 million plus. That is like, where do I start from? You understand? To me, that is lack of knowledge. Number one. Another thing is humility issues. Whether from the lady or the man, but there are humility issues there. If you don't have, plant something within your ability. Yes.
So
That's something within your ability.
You talked about because you are continuing a point,
Yes.
and then I said you talk about affordability.
Yes.
So please continue with the point you are talking about.
Okay, so people who delaying in marry to marry. Okay, so my advice is, please, you want to get married. The two of you are wedding or want to get married, where marriage means introduction and wedding in our setting. The two parties that are coming together should sit and have a realistic conversation. Realistic. What is the wedding we can afford? What is it we can do? What kind of wedding do we want? Where is it going to be? Even before including other people. The two of you first talk. Agree. And then panel beat your thing and put a realistic figure in your midst, or a realistic budget. Paint a realistic picture to it. Then say, okay, if this is realistic, how much do we have to put in as us? Then after that, they can invite a committee or so to say, this is what is on the table.
Yeah.
This is what we have.
Yeah.
Now we need to raise this. Not many people do that. Neither, not even me. I also didn't do that. But to me, I think it's the most realistic way of doing it. You sit down, come up with what you actually want. You first shape your picture before you come out. Shape it. Tell, no, this is not what we want. This is we can't afford that. We can't afford this. We can't. But come out with what you can afford. Then say, okay. If the thing is 20 million shillings, how much do we have? That is going to compose, or it's going to inform you of what you need. Then you say, out of 20, we have 5. Are we able to raise 15 from friends and family? No. Cut it further. Bring it down to 15. We have 5. Are we able to raise 10 from friends and family? Yes. You announce it.
Oh, wow. So this has been a very good topic. My simple advice to people, to couples who are planning to get married, keep it simple. Keep it within your means. I know you love good things. You can do a simple wedding now. In the future, when you make money and you're rich, you have assets and all that, then you can do your dream wedding. You can redo everything. No one is going to stop you.
And another thing, maybe, James, sorry for cutting you there. Simple also, or affordable functions as well. There's an aspect of timing that can come in. Why do a year has peak seasons in it, where service providers will hike prices? End of year, towards big functions, Easter, those avoid the peak seasons in a year. Put your wedding where it's not a peak season, when all these guys are idle, these service providers are idle.
Which period?
Where there no Easter, no Christmas.
January,
No, exactly, that's what I'm talking about. You make sure it's off peak. People, money is money.
Because January, everyone is saying January has 2 months. So anyway, you start the resource mobilization.
Yes.
Like in November.
You make sure you're off peak. And then you have your...
Yeah.
You can get all these planners, not official wedding planners, but people who have gone through it, and those service providers, they can advise you. The decorator can tell you, no. Don't put in this season. This season is a peak season. People are going to charge you highly. Put it in a season where there are no jobs for them.
And by the way, learn to stand firm.
because some family members will force you to do certain things,
Exactly.
but they're not going to give you any money.
Absolutely.
They want you to use your pockets, but they're giving you advice. So learn to stand firm. Where you need to say no, say no. At the end of the day, it is your wedding.
When you decide, actually, that's where we should have begun from in this marriage series or series. When the couple decides, let them decide.
Yeah.
So that's the beginning of marriage. Two people must decide. When you have decided, then that no is a no. A yes means a yes. Meaning you're firm with your decisions because you decided. So I agree. You must have a no, you must have a yes. A firm no, a firm yes. Then you have where you are flexible. So there are issues where you will say, like someone wants to, no. Things that don't make sense to the two of you. A firm no comes in. Things that make sense to the two of you, a firm yes comes in.
Yeah. So a simple piece of advice to those who are just organizing a wedding right now: if you don't have enough money, I would advise you, like when it comes to things like food, just hire a cook. Usually they charge around 1 million for their labor, and then get another 1 million to shop food on your own. You will manage the food issue.
That can feed you 300 people.
Yeah, it can feed you over 300 people than going to a hotel and they charge you per plate. Per plate is more expensive. But if you do it that way, old school way, chikola, by the way, there are people eat a lot of food.
You see, that's the humility I'm telling you about. For someone to accept what you're saying, they have to be humble enough. Many will not. Someone will disregard what you're saying. Yet it's a simple formula. get a person who is going to charge you for labor for cooking and serving that food. Your job to buy the food. I mean, you just go to the markets and buy the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this person cooks the food for you. As simple as that.
At Mr. Andrew, you know, like we talked about one stopping at an intro as we're concluding. I see you have like 4 minutes to conclude.
Yeah.
We need to sum this up because we are ending this topic of marriage without a ring. By the way, we have a special woman of God who in some of our episodes will be coming
to give us another perspective. Yes.
Mu Luganda tugamba akigale.
Yes.
This panel is also going to be always balanced. I know you people are saying, well, you are only men. Well, we need a lady. Already we have that in plan, and we shall have the ladies on the panel. But we shall also have guidance from a woman of God to come and like akigale bulungi.
Yes.
Scripture.
Give us a balanced position.
Ku bintu bino. But for us, because we've had weddings, the two of us. Even Steve had his. Steve ye mugole muffe. So experience where we know what we have seen, what we have gone through, and we know what is possible and what is not possible.
Yes.
So we are here to just help you guys out, to advise you, and like so that you don't make mistakes we have seen people make. Yeah. For us, we have done simple weddings. Peaceful. Steve, yes. I mean, Steve testified.
Zero.
The man did a wedding, and from the wedding, he had zero. Actually, Steve yasigalanga abanja muzatya.
Yes.
Emmere yasigala.
Oh yes.
The food was there. People didn't finish the food.
That's true.
And everything was okay. All of us, I think you were the chairman.
Yeah.
You peacefully went home.
No stress. Completely no stress.
I mean, yeah. So why don't we do a? You deserve an applause.
No stress.
Stress-free weddings should be the way forward.
Absolutely.
If you've managed to watch this podcast, I believe you should keep it as simple. And if you need further advice, please, you can comment. You can comment there. We'll look out on your comment. And I'm going to be uploading even our contacts. You can always contact us. We can talk to you. We can advise you out of experience. Do not struggle with this alone. I know men need guidance on how to do with their partners. The women, when they are exaggerating things, you contact us. We shall give you advice on how to handle that.
You don't need stress when you get organizing a wedding. You can do it and minimize that stress.
Imagine a honeymoon where you're just relaxing. You have money in your account. Rent is paid for, or you have,
and you have what to spend when you're there at the honeymoon.
Yes, you are not coming back to any stress.
Yes,
something like that. So, man, I believe that's a dream for any human being.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I had forgotten this. When you are planning a wedding, the first money you should put aside is money to take care of you after the wedding.
Absolutely. Do you know something? James, what if that item is introduced in the budget?
I think it is high time
we introduce that
item in
a portion of that budget should be. I don't know. Does it make sense?
Yeah, this
something to start with.
Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is the first ever podcast to introduce a new item
on the wedding
budget.
Money for starting.
Kameza budget.
No, it's a life startup.
Life startup.
Yeah, that component should be life startup.
Life startup.
Yeah,
it should be on those budgets.
It should be there.
Yeah, and I think we are now going to become activists of a life startup.
Yeah, you make a life startup with that budget. Yeah,
seriously. That money, when we make the first correction, we put it somewhere safe.
Yes, and say, okay, now this is for these guys, and it's handed to them when they come back from the honeymoon. The chairman keeps it and hands it to them when they come back from the honeymoon.
We have very few seconds. A friend of mine went for to pick his contribution from the sister.
Yes.
The sister.
Yeah.
And when he reached the sister's home,
she had bought a sack of rice, sack of
For him?
beans, what.
That house shopping.
She told him, look, my contribution is there.
Take.
Carry and put it in your house.
That's a startup. That's a startup.
I mean, some people will be like, my own sister nungulira akaunga.
No, but she knew you needed it.
She knew you would need it.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, my sister challenged me.
On Tansiza. Oh,
Tansiza,
yes.
yes.
That's true.
Segeda.
Yeah.
So, Papa, one last word.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's possible to have a simple wedding. Don't fear. Don't be shaken. Don't stress yourself. Be within your means. It is possible. And marriage is sweet. Please, please, get married. Enjoy God's blessings. Let the favor of God be with you. Marriage is sweet.
Yeah, two things. One, have Christ. In everything that you're doing, you're planning, you're organizing, have Christ. Put God first in everything that you're doing and you're organizing.
Amen.
Things will work out for you.
I will.
Then another last thing, watch keeping. Anyway, I'll share some other time. So we're gonna be having our next podcast. Very interesting. What topic topic.
Oh yes.
Hey, we have discovered that us men, after going through that big wedding you've forced us to organize,
Get children.
netuzaala abaana,
Educate them.
netubasomesa.
People grow big and get their children.
Ndowooza okawulidde awo. When we reach old age,
We are often abandoned.
yeah.
Why are men abandoned at old age? Why do men get left out at old age? Yes.
That is our next topic. We have now, I believe we have touched most of the bits with marriage without a ring, small wedding.
Though the series is still going, marriage series is still on.
We are doing the
There are
marriage
so
series.
many episodes.
Twina so many episodes
Yeah.
for you people, so you should not fear. You should not worry that we're going to stop at this.
No.
Please keep the comments coming in. Special shout outs to Pastor Florence Abedya. We have seen the comment. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting us. And trust me, people are waiting for you on this podcast.
Amen.
They're waiting for you. And I'm telling you, Ugandans and people out there in the world, hey, you should never miss a podcast when we are hosting.
There are
the
people
Woman
with
of God.
content, my friend.
Content.
Real life
Real life content.
experiences
Experience.
and ways.
She's a mother.
Oh, yes.
Man, we should stop here.
Amen.
Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the podcast. We love you. Cheers.
See you next time.
See you next time.